Welcome to the latest edition of Cageside Speaks. My name is 14 Fitzpatrick, and for today's show, we will be covering a show that happened before Survivor Series that we've been meaning to talk about. NXT TakeOver Canada. Because you see, Triple H has decided not just the United States of America needs to be conquested by his little promotion that could. Canada apparently has also gone into his invasion plans, as Isengard continues to spread its power of professional wrestling. We have a couple matches to talk about here on this show, and we have brought in two returning guests and a brand new speaker to the show. First up is Gabe.
Hi, everybody.
And Gabe's mic is working, or is it not working?
Everybody. Working?
There we go. Also making his another appearance is Chris.
Hello, everybody. What an amazing show we have to talk about. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And finally, in our new debut spot, we have with us Sal.
Hey, I just feel bad for you guys because you have to look at my ugly mug, so there you go.
Hey, at least it's not your mug on a mug. Can we get you a coffee mug now?
I mean, Christmas is right around the corner if you guys don't mind.
So, the TakeOver was a really solid card, this one was, but there seems to be a bit of an issue when it comes to interest now from the fan base. I don't know why, because TakeOver is doing the same thing that it's always done, produce solid, really interesting main event pay-per-views. And our first match is kind of a symptom of that problem. We have what I like to call the KM Tierney special. Bobby Roode versus Tierney's favorite, Ty Dillinger. And you know I mean that ironically, right?
Yep.
Oh, his favorite two-star special for him?
Yeah. Okay, so Sal, since you're the new guy on here, you go to go first and talk about this really long opening match.
Yeah, really long is how I would honestly have to describe it. It felt like it went like at least 7 minutes too long. It went, what, like 20 minutes almost, I want to say? Someone can help me out with that? I mean,
let's see. The match was 16 minutes, 28 seconds.
Really, it felt like it was 25, and that is never a good thing. Never a good thing.
Wait, how long was it?
16 minutes.
It honestly felt like it was 25. I mean, I thought the opening part of it was pretty good because, you know, they were staring each other down really intensely, and then they just started punching the crap out of each other. Like, no lockup, no nothing like that. I could tell these two actually, like, hated each other, or at least they were supposed to, I guess, which I thought was good because, you know, I've seen a lot of matches where, like, you have these two who hate each other and then they just lock up, which makes no sense. So I thought that was good. It started pretty good, and then it just got dull. Like, not bad, but, like, it felt like an average match, like, you know, something I'd see on, like, an NXT or a SmackDown or something, you know? If that makes any sense. I mean, it wasn't bad, and I'd have to say the ending, it lasted way too long. It should have ended, I would have said, at like 10 minutes, maybe 8, maybe 9, something like that. And what I didn't like was, like, you had two great chances to end it. You had the one where Rude's feet were on the ropes, and the ref saw it, and it kept going. And then right after that, Ty hit the super kick. They should have either ended it with Rude winning with his feet on the ropes or with the super kick, because that was a good ending. You had built to it, you know? And then it just kept going, and then, you know, Rude wins with the DDT. It went too long, and it lost me, so.
Oh, that's really interesting, because, like, you know, the storyline behind this one was that Rude basically disrespected the sanctity of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament and decided to betray Dillinger.
Yeah.
And Dillinger is upholding the honor of the Dusty.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just felt like, you know, like, they didn't even really bring that up on commentary, which I didn't like either. So, you know, because I just binged it all, like late last night after I got off of work. Then, like, all the episodes leading up to it, because I was busy with work this past week. I watched TakeOver live, and I rewatched it again. So I got all that stuff good, but, you know, it's like, it didn't really feel like they brought that into the story at all.
Yeah. That seemed to be a big issue with them on this
Yeah.
particular show.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I did like, there was a reference that Graves gave that I didn't mind. That was the Ty Domi reference when Rude came from him behind and he said like something like that was a cross check Domi would be proud of, and I'm like, I actually approve of that one. Just don't do too many of them and don't be like Morrow here. I mean, I love Morrow, God bless him, but he makes too many of the references.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Chris, what are your thoughts on the show? I mean, Dillinger Rude.
I also think the match went too long for an opening match, but really I think the bigger issue is that once again Ty Dillinger got shoved into a match that he couldn't afford to lose and his opponent also couldn't afford to lose. This is the third big debut match in a row where Dillinger has faced somebody that is, you know, like having their first big match on a takeover, and neither one of them can afford to lose it. Ty first getting his momentum last year at TakeOver Brooklyn against Apollo Crews, then he loses to Apollo. Then this year he faces Almas and loses to Almas, and both he and Almas get harmed by it because Ty gets forced into a heel run for 2 months that goes nowhere, and Almas is still trying to recover from the fact that he got no character development for such a long time. And now he's put in a match against Bobby Roode, who's supposed to be a heel but is getting cheered like a face, and neither one of them can afford to lose, and lo and behold, Dillinger ends up losing. I will say that I found it interesting, though, that the way that they ended it, with Ty getting that moment in the ring with the crowd afterwards, it almost seemed like they were prepping him to be a surprise debut on Raw or SmackDown during the following week, and he was not. So I'm a little confused about where they're going with this, because, you know, he was almost like a Tyler Breeze kind of moment where like Breeze had his last big match in NXT, and then he showed up on SmackDown the following week, and he got a big send off from Full Sail. So I'm guessing maybe they're holding off on that until Dillinger can have a big send off with the Full Sail crowd. But either way, like it wasn't a bad match. There were some great spots in it, but again, Dillinger got screwed here because there was no way that he could lose without being damaged by it, and he took the loss. And you know, as far as Bobby Roode goes, it's same old thing from what I saw from him at TakeOver Brooklyn. I mean, his entrance is great. Everybody loves it. I mean, everybody sang it, just like they did at the live event that I went to on the Wednesday before TakeOver when they were in Manhattan. You know, everybody singing his entrance, and then as soon as he gets into the match, it's like, okay, Roode, you're serviceable. You're in your late 30s. You're still delivering serviceable matches, but you're not doing anything great, and really the only thing you have going for you at this point is your character work. So, you know, that's what it is. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. But it was overall, just in the terms of being a match, it was a pretty good match.
Okay, Gabe, what are your thoughts on Rude Dillinger?
The entrances were better than the match.
The entrances were better than the match.
Well, no arguments here.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was fine with Red winning until the main event happened, which we'll get to later, because I'm confused where everybody goes after this. Just, that was mostly what it was. Like, the heel one that you think maybe they'll push, and then other stuff happens later. So it was kind of confusing overall, but it was the match. Sir, they wrote a good story, but we knew the match wasn't going to be great. But the crowd was hot for the whole thing because both are Canadian, and I don't. Maybe they should just give it like. Sometimes if it's a question on who should win, just give it to the face because the heel can always recover better than a face. So maybe they should have done that.
Yeah.
But Ty's basically been the enhancement to the stars, like the low enhancement guy. And I don't know what they're doing with Rude. Like we don't even like they haven't set the roles up completely yet in NXT where we know who everybody is kind of yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big issue that they have right now is they really don't know who they're setting up for who.
Yeah.
Fly by the seat of your pants booking, because we've seen how well that goes on the main roster.
Oh,
It
yes.
doesn't go very well.
Yes.
It seems we're playing in NXT, but there's Triple H isn't perfect all the time.
I mean, it's strange because I'm actually just looking this up now. Dillinger's 35, Rude is 39, and they're treating them both like stars on the rise. Like both of them are not exactly in the prime years of their careers. So, if you're going to do something with them, you have to do it sooner rather than later. So I guess that might be why they put Rude over here, because he's the older one, and Ty maybe has a couple of more years left than Rude does, but it's still just questionable.
Yeah, well, then you have to ask the question why they did what they did in the main event. So,
Yeah,
which I have an
too.
idea. Well, I have an idea on that, but we'll get to that later. So,
Yeah.
But I thought they were bringing in Ty to Rude to kind of take the role of helping in the PC and stuff, but I don't. It's confusing.
yeah, it is confusing.
It's confusing with how you did the booking of them. It's confusing what you did with everything. It helps out in the PC a lot because if you watch the Seth Rollins documentary, he was the one taking the pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well,
he's the guy somewhere. He's helping in the PC with stuff a lot too. He's older, and that's what they brought him in there for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a paycheck at least.
Hey, somebody has to do that job.
Well, no, I know. I'm not condemning him for it. Hell, I think that's a pretty good job. I mean, you got to get paid at least decently for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd think.
I think that might be the reason why they just signed Steve Cornino, is that they could potentially bring Ty up to the main roster. And now you're imagining KM Tierney dancing around a fire in one of those tribal ritual things and hoping to God that Dillinger goes to Raw.
Oh, God.
He's going to go to SmackDown and have matches with James Ellsworth, and he's going to be ecstatic about it.
Yeah, no, watch Tierney, the guy who has I'm a Catholic in his SIG, start praying to the devil that he goes to Raw.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm a Catholic too, so I'm probably going to go to hell for saying that. But, I'll probably damn myself 5 times over.
I care.
Oh, my Lord.
So we go from the people who are the two oldest to the two youngest people in this next match, which was the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament. And this one was a little more subdued this year than it was in last year. The original plan is that they brought back in Tommy, who got hurt, and they brought in Roderick Strong, whose partner took a kick to Shinsuke Nakamura that disagreed with him. He's now out for the rest of the year and has a metal thing in his face now.
Oh, I thought he was going to be back soon.
No, he's not going to be.
Early 2017, apparently.
He might.
Yep. And basically, and then of course, Aries and Strong, before the injuries, got upstaged by Turney's favorite tag team, Heavy Machinery.
Oh, yes.
Guys,
Gozer and Tuck.
Can we have them go? Can we have those two tag with Swan and No Way Jose?
Oh, please, let it be so. I would mark out so hard for that.
Yeah.
The 4 biggest characters, the biggest ham bones in all of NXT tagging together. That would be so good.
I'll be completely honest. I unironically love No Way Jose. So,
Oh, I do too. It's fantastic.
I actually like No Way Jose.
Yeah, I mean,
Jose's really over.
Yeah, no, he is.
I had No Way Nakamura. We had Shinsuke No Way Nakamura at the
No Way Shinsuke.
Yeah, at the when I went to, Jose was getting more cheers than Nakamura. Like
Oh,
before the
well.
match even started.
Oh, geez. I mean, I guess what I really like about him, and I know I'm going on a tangent here, it's just he has fun, and it's infectious, and I like that. So there you go.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
he's-
Who doesn't like
When I was at the event in Manhattan, he and Strong had the opening match, and they were getting equal cheers from a Manhattan crowd to be cheering for No Way Jose. You know that guy has to be doing well
Yeah.
for himself, because
Yeah.
Manhattan crowds don't cheer for anybody that's a like unless they absolutely deserve it.
Yeah.
So, that's something.
Yep.
But then the final turns out to be two of the more... Well, we like
Interesting.
one of the teams on here, but the other one is kind of a mystery. We have Mr. Ellering and his murder monsters, the Authors of Pain,
Roar.
versus TM61, Nick Miller and Shane Thorne.
Mhm.
And because of the fact that Ellering has done interference in the Dusty Rhodes matches prior to this, the best way that management thought that they could deal with Ellering's interference is to lock him up in a cage and put him 20 feet in the sky.
No,
You
no,
know, like you do. It makes perfect sense if
no,
you
no.
don't
What
think about it at all.
what management thought was, let's reference the last Battle of Atlanta that just went up on the network. That's really what they thought. Let's be completely honest here.
Well, let's reference the new toys that we just put out through Mattel.
Oh God, I honestly thought they called it the Crass Cage, not Crass. I mean,
Oh yeah, no,
Oh my lord.
Okay, so Chris, we'll start off with you. What did you think about this match?
Well, I like the fact that the finals involved two actual tag teams as opposed to last year when it was 4 single stars that were mishmashed together into 2 tag teams. And I like that they went with the logical finish of having AOP win the whole thing, because I said from the beginning, if you go back to the article, like, I don't know if anybody really wants to dig this far back into the archives on Cageside, but if you go all the way back to the article where the brackets were announced, I had an absolute fit because I was looking at the pairings, and it's like, they're going to have AOP lose to DIY. You're going to have a team that surrenders 200 pounds to the Authors of Pain, beat them on the way to the finals. What the hell are you doing? I lost my freaking mind over this, and there was like a 20 comment long thread of me and various other people on Cageside going back and forth about this and how it would work, and just completely losing my mind about it. And I have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised and grateful that they went with the logical finish of having the team that looks like they should win and has the skill set to win be the victors of the whole thing. It preserves the factor of unpredictability with the Dusty Cup. It doesn't make it so that it's like, oh, the face team is going to win all the time. No, we've actually got the scariest looking heel team that we've seen in NXT in a very long time get the win here, and do so in very convincing fashion. The problem that occurs from this, and this is just a continuation of a problem that's been going on for months now, is what the hell are you doing with TM61? I mean, this is a tag team that was easily one of the greatest on the indie circuit for years, and they've been made to look like chumps and idiots this whole time that they've been in NXT. They've lost now, I think, 3 times to Authors of Pain in extremely convincing fashion. And I don't see any way that they really recover from this unless they turn them heel and have them just go murder ham on
replaces them?
DIY. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they do with these guys, because they're honestly just taking up space at this point. They're being used not for their value, and I don't know whether that's just a factor of just the crowd not being into them or booking or what. But something's going wrong with them. But I mean,
they don't.
what are you
They
gonna
feel
say?
like they don't have characters. Is more of it, or like we don't know what their character is.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely a huge problem. Yeah, that we don't know anything about these guys other than the fact that they're Australian and they have letters and numbers on their asses. That's really all there is to it. But
Oh, so they're like the bushwhackers only from
And the mighty
Australia, and they
don't
don't
know,
like
but-
people. Got it.
yeah, basically. But I mean, Authors of Pain getting the win. I love it. I love watching these guys. Seeing Authors of Pain just absolutely murder people in the ring, it makes me happy in more ways than I ever thought possible in terms of tag team wrestling. These guys, they have everything I've been looking for from a monster heel team that I haven't seen anywhere else in WWE in a very long time. So I hope that whatever comes next, that ends up being AOP eventually just kicking the snot out of DIY and getting the belts and just holding onto them and eventually breaking the Ascension's record, because these guys have the look, they have the ability, and once they like develop something beyond scary looking foreigners that scream at people in another language, I think that they will be one of the top tier teams in all of NXT's history.
Okay, cool. Gabe, what are your thoughts on the TM61 Offers of Pain match?
The flip off the cage was pretty fun. The match was solid. It just like you can have heels. It's harder to get into a match when it's harder to like not care about somebody to cheer for them. Like I don't think TM61 get over more in a match, but like we don't know who they are, so for them, that's might have been part of the problem. But the logical he gave away later because there was still prepping. You set up because you have to set up. But after that, I don't know if the one is the team to replace DIY or what they're gonna do with DIY, or are they gonna just do something else? It's a little confused. It's a little confusing where they're at right now. Just overall, the tag division is probably the best division still set up. But questions about it, but that's a lot longer process than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
There's more stuff.
Okay, so
That match was.
that match was good. Gabe, your mic is.
It served it.
We're losing your mic again, Gabe.
Okay,
Yeah, it served its purpose for what they needed to do with it, and it was solid. It was fine. For investing because I kind of was like it's hard. TM61's not like there yet for me.
Yeah, I mean that they're Australian, and like most of the Australian foreigners that have come into NXT, they've really struggled in the whole character front.
There's a group there's two that haven't yet.
Yeah,
Figured that out.
there's two that have figured it out.
Mm.
Yes.
Anyway, Sal, what are your thoughts on the Offers of Pain DIY match?
Or TM61.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that Authors of Pain DIY match, but maybe later.
Preferably without interference by the Revival.
Oh, please no. But honestly, I didn't think it was bad. It kind of felt like a spot fest to me in the sense that, like, you see these guys beat the ever-loving crap out of each other over and over again, and none of them stay down, if that makes any sense. Like I mean, the moves were cool and stuff, and it was a decent match. Like, I thought it was a pretty decent rush, but I mean, and I was thinking about this earlier, like, I don't want to go too much into the DIY Revival match, but, like, if I were to, like, compare those two matches to, like, types of movies, I'd say Authors of Pain, TM61, they were more like a summer blockbuster, a lot of action, not like the greatest of stories. It's entertaining while you watch it, but it doesn't stick with you as long. where like DIY Revival was kind of like an Oscar-winning movie as far as a wrestling match goes, because like it was done to like perfection, you know. If that analogy makes any sense. And I mean, it wasn't a bad match, and I do like the Authors of Pain. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. I do like the Hosses, however you say it.
HOSS, Hoss.
Yeah, like however you pluralize that.
Hosses.
Hosses, okay. Yeah, I do like the Hosses-ness of them. So, you know, I really do like them, and I think Paul Ellering being like their grumpy, like kind of like grandpa who orders them about it's kind of funny in a surreal way, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to piss Paul Ellering off because he probably sent those two after me. So, but I mean, it was a decent enough match, and I'm glad they got the win. I think the right team did win, and I do think TM61 needs a lot of work. I mean, as far as character goes, like who are they? Why should I care about them? I mean, they might have been great indie wrestlers, but you know, that's pretty much like everyone in NXT nowadays, and you can't use that as their sole character trait. You know? I mean, I do think the right team won, although I will say something that constantly distracted me was the Authors of Pain's name, like Akam and Razar, and how I'm pretty sure it's a thinly veiled reference to Occam's razor. Which if it is, I mean, can you at least come out and say that's what they're named after, and maybe working into the story like these two guys will take the shortest possible route to kill you, you know, because that's pretty much what Occam's razor is. I mean, that'd at least be somewhat clever.
Well, I think that part of the reason why they don't do that is because the shortest route usually would involve cheating, and they don't want to establish them as a cheating team. They want to establish them as a team that will, within the rules, just maul you to death.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could buy that, although they did try and use a chain here, so swings and roundabouts, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was more Paul Ellering's
Yeah.
tutelage than anything else. I don't think that under normal circumstances they would have done that. But
Yeah,
that might just be my marking out for them coming into play there.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, it was a fine match. It wasn't a bad match. I think, you know, like again, it kind of fits like the whole blockbuster thing. Like, it's a fun, exhilarating rush while it's happening, but afterwards, it's like you don't remember everything too much of it. You know, I mean, I can't call it bad because it wasn't. It just wasn't great. You know, I mean, I think it might have gotten like everything else on that card probably got overshadowed by the match, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, my God, imagine those two as chaperones.
Oh, jeez. Please. Oh, God. Like, I'm imagining, like, imagine taking out, like, if Akam or Razar had a daughter and you had to take her out to prom. Imagine screwing up and having to go back to them.
Mm-hmm. Actually, imagine how you feel if you're Rachel Ellering's boyfriend.
Oh. Oh man, you better not fuck up, boy. You better not fuck up or you will die.
Yeah. Then the funniest thing about it though is that in real life, Sonny Dinza and Gizem Salmani are both the most kindest, most gentlest, good-natured people in the world. But in the ring, they portray these freaking killers so very well, and that's one of the reasons why I like why I like the team so much is because their character work for being new guys are spot on.
Yeah, they really do come across as ass kickers. Like, I didn't know they were like really nice people in real life. I kind of figured, like, looking at just their character work, like, remind me not to cross these two or I'm gonna die and be buried in a shallow grave.
Yeah,
you know. So you know, I mean, you know, that they are a good team. I think they got a lot of potential, and I mean, I do love a good Haas team, a little good Haas fight. So you know, I'm biased, but there you go.
Speaking of Haas fights, if Heavy Machinery teams up with one of NXT's newest signees, which is Big Damo, oh boy,
that'll be fun.
Offers of Pain, Heavy Machinery.
Oh wow,
so much beef.
Well, have you guys seen the picture from when AOP teamed with Samoa Joe on a house show? No. There's your beef right there. AOP Samoa Joe versus Heavy Machinery Big Damo.
You know,
the ring would break.
You guys know how Wendy says they have the beef? I think NXT has the right to say, no, you don't. We do.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
the beef.
when I saw the Roderick Strong, Austin Aries versus Heavy Machinery match, I was like, where in the world did they find these people?
Yo,
Otis-
they just have beef in the. They just have beef lined up in the PC that Triple H is hiding from Vince.
yeah, basically.
Actually, he's not hiding them for Vince. He's actually showcasing, here, Paul, here, Vince.
No,
We have all this talent here. Look at all this muscle.
Here's the
No.
Big fat guys.
here's
No,
the guys that don't want to take it.
yeah, no. Here's what I think Triple H is doing. Like, he knows Vince likes his beef, so what he's doing is he's seasoning it, making sure it's really good before Vince gets his hands on it. So
And
he's got a
rots
better.
it. And rots it.
Yep. So, I mean, again, the match was fine. Can't complain too much. It was what it was.
Mhm.
So the next match, speaking of restocking a section of groceries, the women's division is going for a bit of a restock right now. They're right now trying to develop a feud between the Icons, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay,
Yes.
Liv Morgan, Aliala, and
Aaliyah.
Ember Moon. And they had a match on the pre-show that was taped before TakeOver Canada or after, I'm not sure which, but
They usually take those beforehand.
and the Icons found a partner in Daria Benedino, who has been one of the bigger surprises besides Mandy Rose on the developmental side of things.
Miz genius for finding Mandy.
Yes, Miz the genius.
Well, Miz is a genius. Come on, let's give the man his props. Come on now.
Yeah.
He's got to stroke it. We just got to keep stroking his ego.
Well, of course we do. He's the
Nope.
Miz. I mean, hey, did you guys all have a good misgiving? I should have asked that at the start. Come on now.
Nope.
Yes.
Not going to do it.
Oh,
Not doing it.
Oh, come on. You have to tell me you had a good misgiving.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
Come on. Give the man his props. Come
I
on.
will not. I will
He's
never
the-
do it.
He's the best
Do not
IC.
make me.
He's the best IC champ we've had in years. Come on.
Don't give in to your victorious.
Sami Zayn would have been better.
No, we wouldn't have, and you know it. At least not while on Raw. You know this.
Shut up. Stop telling me what I know.
I mean, Sami Zayn on SmackDown, it might have been better, but
Yes, I know. But, hey. Anyway, so the Icons and Daria Baronetta versus Ember, Aaliyah, and Liv. That was the thing.
Poorly, I thought.
No, Daria definitely acquitted herself well. Peyton and Billy, God, I love them, and everything they do, I just love them more every time they show up. And the faces, I mean, with the exception of Aaliyah, because I mean, we've established that she's Canadian, and that's it. I mean, but yeah, Liv and Ember are both developing nicely, so I think that they're fixing up some of the things with the women's division pretty well. So,
And after that was the in the show itself was the sacrifice match.
yep.
Asuka versus Mickie James.
Yep.
They saw that nobody was ready to take on Asuka for the show in terms of booking, and they decided that let's call up Mickie James and see if she's interested. And she was. And actually, she was their second pick because Trish Stratus was originally supposed to be their first pick per rumors, but Trish was like, nope. And I've noticed that Trish
She's having babies.
Yeah. Pregnancy kind of prevents matches with that involve you getting kicked in the stomach a lot.
I mean, unless you're into miscarriages or something, which I don't think anyone is, and for good reason.
Yeah.
I've actually more of my thought was like, honey, they're calling me. Baby me now.
Oh, God. I kind of hope that is the case.
That would be hilarious if it was. Not gonna lie.
That's why
Every
I want it to be
time-
the case.
Every time WWE's tried to call Trish Stratus, she's just basically going, no.
Well, I
Wasn't
mean,
there also a rumor that said that like they rumored that Trish was the first choice, but then apparently WWE came out and said no, that's not the case. We wanted Mickey all along. It's
well, I
like
kind of
really,
figured that.
Of course they're gonna say that.
Yeah, I
it's
kind of
like,
figured that. Was
really,
open denial.
you really think you can convince us of that? I don't think so.
No.
Well, I mean, as far as Trish refusing WWE's calls, I mean, she was there for a pretty dark part of it with all the bras and panties matches. So,
Barking like a dog for Vince. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh God, why did you remind me of that?
Because if I have to remember it, everybody else does too. Damn it.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no. So I mean, I could see her being like, "Nope, no,
Yeah, I can't say I blame her.
nope, no blames, no blames."
Okay, so Gabe, what did you think about the sacrifice match?
It was a little short. It ended weird. You can say that. The match itself served its purpose, and what they were trying to do, have her go over Legend, and I don't. Are they gonna turn her heel, or I don't know what they're doing right now. Basically, but
Yeah.
it was weird because like you're supposed to I kind of not sure who you're supposed to cheer for in a sense. Yeah, it it was fine. I was more into the match Tuesday night. I mean Wednesday night, whatever day of the week you gotta watch NXT.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. The Wednesday night. I was more into the Wednesday night stuff for the women's division. That match.
Oh, I mean, Asuka has been portrayed as this unstoppable monster that just basically eats everything, and
So Galactus.
yeah, like Galactus. Now you're imagining a ginormous Asuka mask consuming worlds.
Yep. Best thing ever.
Yeah. No. See, I'm still waiting for them to let her do the Ju-On paint that she used to do back on the Indies instead of just the stripe thing, because
I don't think they'll ever let her do that.
they should. I mean,
They
that would be so badass. I mean, come on now. I mean, you might terrify small children, but come on.
I've started looking into ordering Shimmer DVDs just so I can see that.
Oh God,
It
yeah.
exists.
Okay, so Sal, what were your thoughts on this match?
Pretty much what Gabe said to a degree. I mean, it served its purpose. I mean, it really did seem kind of just like like, hey, Mickey, we need you to come in so we can buy ourselves a little bit of time to build someone up so they can face Asuka, And I mean, it wasn't a bad match. I feel like that's going to be the theme of this show. Like, none of the matches were bad. It's just most of them, including this one, didn't really live up to previous expectations or previous standards, and I don't know how fair that is considering, we did lose Bailey, we did lose Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, who were like four of the greatest for quite a long time. Well, three of the greatest plus Charlotte.
Yep.
So,
you forgot someone, Sal.
Who am I forgetting? Asuka? Well, I mean, she's still there.
No. Alexa.
Oh, well, obviously. Okay. Well, yeah, no, I blame myself for that. I have no excuse. And now I think Pixie Hulk's going to come and kill me. So,
Yep. You're going to die, son.
Yeah, so, I'm just going to make out my will. You guys each get a third of my stuff. I'm feeling pretty generous. So
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be doing that once we're done here. But honestly, I mean, it wasn't a bad match, and I do agree the finish was weird because she won with what was it, like a chokehold or something? I didn't even remember. It wasn't the Asuka lock, and I mean,
she was trying to get the Asuka lock in, and she couldn't get it.
In the Asuka lock. Completely.
Yeah, I know, and that was weird. And Mickey tapped. I when I saw it, I was wondering, did Asuka choke her, and Mickey had to tap, or
No, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's what happened, but it was kind of weird because it didn't really make sense. And I mean, the stuff after and turning Asuka heel, I guess makes sense because I kind of get the feeling they're probably going to build up Ember to take her on. I mean, that would be my guess considering all the hype Ember had gotten. So, You know, I don't know. I mean, NXT is kind of in a weird place with like how they're in rebuild on the fly mode. So, you know,
I don't mind rebuild on the fly. It's just confusing.
well, it is. Well, they are kind of rebuilding on the fly though, considering they lost a lot of their best people. And well, I mean, the booking up to this didn't help matters either with having Asuka squash all of them. And I mean, I know since they're a touring brand, you got to keep your champion looking strong, but at the same time, you got to make sure you have at least one person who's ready. You know,
Hey, it's not a strong heel. At least it's not a strong heel champion.
oh well, now it is. Probably.
She's still face.
Well, you know, I mean, it isn't going to be as bad as Charlotte, and no, I will not stop ragging on Charlotte. So there you go.
Nor should you. Nor should you.
I mean, as an aside, I mean that's just some depressing, soul-crushing stuff on Raw with the whole Charlotte booking. I mean, it's almost like Raw went out of their way to just crush their fans' spirits as far as that stuff goes. You know, so
You guys are three. The whole thing. Just two. It might be the same thing.
yeah, but you know, wasn't a bad match. Pretty good. I mean, I've seen a lot worse women's matches. So I mean, that's damning it with faint praise. I'll be completely honest, but I have. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, what are your thoughts on the execution?
I mean, the match served its purpose, like we said. It was just purely to build up Asuka because we didn't have anybody else. At this point, Asuka still transcends alignment, though. I mean, even with the whole sign of disrespect, quote unquote disrespect at the end, I still think that Asuka is, at this point, outside of being a face or a heel, because it's only natural that Mickey was going to get cheered there. It's a big return for a person who has been a pillar of WWE for their women's divisions. You know, back in the time when things were not necessarily the greatest. So I mean, it made sense that Asuka would play heel there, but I still don't think that lasts beyond this match. Because at this point right now, yeah, we have Ember who's built up, but we also have the icons. And the way that I see this going, I've said this from the beginning now, what makes the most sense for my mind, when we get to the takeover before the Rumble, is a fatal four-way between Asuka, Ember, Billy, and Peyton. That is, to me, what makes the most sense. Because
You have three faces and one heel.
Well, I mean, what inevitably I think is going to end up happening with that is that we get Billy and Peyton.
Swap Billy for Liv.
No, I don't think you can do that because I mean, Liv has already faced Asuka and.
Oh wait, no, you're right. That's true. That's
in very, very bad fashion. Yeah. So I think what we end up doing is that we have we have you know, Billy, Peyton, you know, say that they're going to enter into this fatal four-way together. Ember throws her hat into the ring also, and they all go for the title. Mid-match, we see. I'm predicting it's going to end up looking a lot like the fatal four-way they had at TakeOver Rival between Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley, where mid-match Billy and Peyton are going to turn on each other, much like Sasha and Becky did, and then the match starts to break down from there. I think that is honestly what will make the most sense. So that's my honest prediction as to where they're going from here. As far as whatever Mickie James is going to do, I guess that's up to her. But I mean, and the match was good. The match was good, except for the really weird and awkward finish. I think that Mickie just tapped out too early before Asuka had a chance to get the hold in the way that she was supposed to get it in. Corey sold it all right on commentary as that she actually had it in, when if you observe close enough you could tell she actually didn't. The body scissors was not marked in the way that it was supposed to. So you know, overall not terrible, but you know, again, what more could you do there? So
I honestly think that the fatal four-way is a great idea.
Yeah.
Though, continue, Sal.
Sorry, but no. I was thinking like as far as your idea for the fatal four way, I was personally thinking instead of having those two turn on each other, you have them help one or the other win, and that way. But you pin Ember. That way, when Asuka gets a rematch, those two are together, and you just DQ them. They get DQ'd, and you screw Asuka out of a rematch.
That's
that way
what I'm thinking is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that way you keep Asuka out of the title picture for a little bit without damaging her too much. You can build up to an Ember match.
Yeah, build Ember for a feud, and so that she can eventually score the title for herself because she really does deserve it too.
Yep, and then build Ember towards Asuka and go from there. So there is a good idea for the Fatal Four Way, and you can really do a lot with it. So I kind of hope that's what they do.
Yeah.
We'll see. They just need to get Ember to show over or explain her character more.
Yeah, I
think they could. It would probably be better if they could turn Asuka heel and have her win.
Yeah, I mean,
title on Peyton.
Yeah,
I'd be all for that.
Somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Ember, I mean, her character's like what, a she-wolf or something like that, or like a she-werewolf or something. And okay, I'm gonna take a bit of umbrage with that and the whole moon thing because, like if anyone knows my whole username, it's Sal Lupo Cusmano. There's a reason for the Lupo. My grandmother's maiden name is Lupo, and that means wolf in Italian. So, when I see people like do the whole stereotypical wolf thing, it kind of gets on my nerves because it's like, that's part of my family, assholes. It's like seriously, I am a wolf.
Yeah. It's a weird gimmick that they gave her. Like, I think that they honestly should have stuck with the character mannerism that she had in the Indies, which is the war goddess. That's the thing that makes the more sense. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
as long as they can find a way to explain her character.
Yeah, I kind of hope they can
Keep
because
explaining it. This is probably a problem with like new writer, maybe some other issues that they don't have back in PC, but like they have good wrestling, but the characters development's not as much there.
Yeah, well, except for the match eventually, but
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that Ember's gotten herself over purely on her
wrestling,
in-ring ability, and her finisher, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I blame them for putting her in that position, but they do need to definitely give her more of a character mannerism because
finisher really the best so far.
Yeah, it's the best finisher in all of wrestling, without a doubt. At least currently. So I hope that they'll do more with her because she needs it. She deserves it.
I think what they're gonna do is, I think the Fatal 4-Way is a great idea, but I think what's gonna happen with the two heels is that one of them, either Billy or Peyton, is gonna side with Mandy Rose and Daria Benedino and their little faction, or they turn Daria face.
I think that they're going to end up turning Daria face because of what they did with the match on the pre-show. So I think that's going to be what ends up happening is Daria's going to go face, and then I don't even know what's going on with Mandy after that whole social media debacle that she had. I don't know if she's going to still be like prominently featured or what, but I do predict that she's going to end up going face, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So all in all, a very interesting showcase match, and then we have the main event that really kind of wasn't the main event.
Yeah.
Joe and Nakamura. Okay, Chris, you're the biggest Nakamura fan here. What happened here?
I mean, it all became clear to me on Wednesday after the with the matches that they did on the pre-show, what they're doing here, and it's dumb, but it is what it is. Shinsuke is going to get the title back when they are in Japan in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. Shinsuke is getting the title back there, and they wanted to do it in front of a hometown crowd. which I guess makes sense. I guess.
I don't see
But
why a successful defense wouldn't be as big of a deal, though. I mean,
I guess that they want to ensure that the Japanese crowd comes in hot for him, because I mean, if any of you can go back to his NJPW career, Shinsuke's career in New Japan is highlighted by the fact that he was and continues to be uh, one of the most charismatic champions, because he was always a champion. Like, he was always in that limelight spot of being, okay, I'm leading the scene here. So I mean, I think that what's going to end up being the case here is Shinsuke's going to be going into this title defense with with Joe just being the cocky guy who just scored his belt back, and that's going to be how they run that. It's strange that they're doing it that way, because in my view, Nakamura going in as the champion would have made the crowd even more excited for his big triumphant return. But that is what it is. The match, as it was, I thought that they did a great job up until the finish. I've never been a big fan of distraction finishes or anything like that as a whole, and this was a case where a distraction finish really tarnished what had otherwise been a pretty good matchup to that point. I mean, Nakamura's character work up until the takeover, where he just kind of completely turned around and became Psycho Assassin Nakamura, as I like to call him for this. It really did exactly what was needed here. We needed to see Nakamura as a crazy person who is capable of just straight up murdering fools at will, and that's what they went with here up until this point, and it's working great. Nakamura as this crazy guy who just will come out and Kinshasa security, Kinshasa, any officials who get in his way. That's exactly what we needed to see. That's what the fans wanted to see. That's what the writers wanted to work with. I mean, it's been perfect. So to have him do that and then to lose in a dirty finish, I think was a big mistake. But all in all, not bad. Not a bad match by any means, and I'm looking forward to him getting the title back in Osaka.
Coolness. Gabe, what are your thoughts on this match?
I thought, how long was this match again?
This match was 20 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah, why couldn't they shorten this by like 15 minutes and just have them keep beating the crap out of each other for
5 minutes?
Just give them a 12, 15 minute sprint like those old All Japan matches that I've heard of. Where they just do that, but like at one point it was just starting to get to like it got to a. It took a little longer to get to where they were trying to go. Like I was like getting them like, come on guys. I was also watching it like really late, but like it was like it was fine. I thought it started out well, and then they just kept going after his knees, which he never sells ever. So it kind of throws it off because you're trying to do it. Like I like the theory from Vidance where it's like his knees are so strong that like ever, so it doesn't work. Like you can try, but it's not gonna work. That's not how people think of it in a way. Like everybody thinks in this day and age, everybody thinks you're gonna sell that limb, and so that doesn't seem to work the other way.
And Nakamura doesn't really sell limbs, so yeah, that's
That's a highlight of Japanese wrestling as a whole, though. I mean, you watch any NJPW match, they're really the best person for selling of the Japanese wrestlers in NJPW is Tanahashi. Other than that, like most of them have spotty limb selling at best.
Ooh, it's selling. It's what's selling. That's what they do. They don't know. They don't. Yeah, but that's probably more that might like that. You build a match around that, and you know he's not going to sell, and you're still doing it. It's a little like, come on, try something else. Like, would it work better? But I know it's you want to do the. That's what he's using to kick you it. So.
yeah. I mean, they wanted to do something. They tried it, and it didn't really work. Well, there was that. And now we have a rematch in Osaka. Is it Osaka?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just. Oh yeah, it's just taking this feud out longer than Finn Joe.
No, it's not quite as long as Finn Joe. I mean, Finn Joe, Finn Joe. I think went for 9-10 months. I mean, at this point, this has only been going for.
December, and the last match would be in June. This is going from the end of August to the end of January. If he wins the title back.
Honestly, I think this has been more enjoyable than Finn Joe because
that it absolutely has.
You know,
Yeah.
I agree on that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Pointing it out, he's had it really.
I mean, at least the good thing is that they have plenty of challengers behind Nakamura or Joe to take the belt if necessary, and
just build up No Way Jose and put the title on him.
Yes.
Yes, I am not even joking on that. Do it. Like, I am all for that.
I'm not joking, but Sean's gonna hate it probably.
I don't care who hates it. He's over. People like him. I like him. Do it. You might as well.
And he's not just over. He's really over.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, the house show you went to, you said he was pretty over. He was pretty over when I saw him.
Yeah,
he was more over than. He was probably more over than 5. He was more over than.
He's more over than Joe. He's probably about as equally over as Shinsuke.
Yeah, and he was more over at the house show with Shinsuke of like maybe not the pop, but like right before. He's so engaging with the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, he has that just infatuating, like encapsulating, type charisma about him that he draws people to him, and I like the guy. A lot of people like the guy. I mean, put the belt on him, do something with him,
Yeah.
Build him up, put the belt on him.
Exactly.
They need he's 26, and you need some younger guys with everybody over 30 for the most part.
Yeah.
And the only other guy I can see them. I don't if you're gonna build up a face. There's 2 guys right now that I can see. There's a third, but I think they're gonna use him for something else more. Cedric and No Way Jose, maybe Swan. Also,
I think Swan's gonna be cruiserweight champion first.
Yeah,
that's where I was going. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna use him more for the cruiserweight. So that's why I was saying Cedric or.
Cedric, I think, is sticking with the cruiserweight division for now. He's probably going to continue his feud with Almaz, but I'm not sure he's going after the belt.
Yeah, no, I can see that. But I was saying just one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it is. Put the belt on him.
Give the guy the belt.
Yeah, come on, he deserves a nice belt. Come on, it's Christmas based stage, St. Paul, whatever you were calling you this week.
Yeah, really.
So, what are your thoughts on the match, Sal?
Again, it served its purpose. I feel like that's pretty much the running theme of this whole takeover. It served its purpose. But that really was the theme of the show. But I mean, again, it wasn't a bad match. I agree with Chris. The finish was really weird and not really well done. I'll forgive it somewhat if going forward they make it so Nakamura's like so incensed, like that's how he lost the title, that he like keeps continuing King Sasha-ing, or Shasing whatever, security. Like he'll go in and interrupt matches and just King Shasa the competitors. Like, if you do that, I'll forgive the finish because holy crap, you took a guy who was already off the deep end and pushed him even further off it. So that would kind of work better, and then he wins it back in Osaka. So you do that, I'll forgive you. But if not, then you essentially just did it for you wanted the huge pop when he wins it back in his home country, which woo, we've seen that a million times. I mean,
That's basically reenacting Finn winning the title from Owens.
Exactly. And at least when Finn won it, he didn't lose it and win it back. He actually won it for the first time there, So it wasn't like contrived, or if it was, it wasn't as contrived. But I mean, again, match was fine. I mean, I know it is a thing of Japanese wrestling that they don't sell the limbs as much, but it still kind of bugs me. And I do like Vid's explanation, but the only issue I have with that is if because he does sell it a little bit when it first happens. So it's like, if you're going to do it, either don't sell it at all or sell it. Don't do it a little bit and then don't sell it, Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You got to go with one or the other. I'm fine if you don't sell it, but never sell it. So.
If you're gonna if you're gonna no sell, just no sell.
Don't. Just never. Don't even acknowledge that it hurts. Just like someone hits you in the knee, you just look at them pissed off like, what the fuck were you thinking, asshole?
Be like Brock.
Like, I don't watch this
I can't believe I just said be like Brock.
Well,
but be like Brock.
No, don't be like Brock. If you're gonna no sell, be like the Young Bucks in that triple threat ladder match that they had, where Vince just said they were going through tables like every 10 seconds. Like no selling everything, just going through tables every 10 seconds. At least like.
Yes, be like the Young Bucks, only maybe a little less over the top.
Yeah, that might be way over the top, but at least if you're gonna no sell, completely no sell.
Yeah, exactly.
For that part. At least him, if he could sell his knees, it would make his knees look extremely strong, and we'd understand why.
Yeah, I mean, give me that. Make it so he never sells it, and I'm cool. Because it's like I don't mind wanting to have it one way, just don't try and have it both. That's my issue. You can't.
Yeah, if he no sells, if he like doesn't sell his knees, I would take it as his knees were extremely strong.
Yeah, like. Yeah, exactly.
Like he has to find somebody else.
Yeah, like he has like diamond knees that are like covered in steel or something. I mean, sell it like that. Nothing hurts him.
So
that would
this
make sense.
yeah, that actually makes sense. So this somehow was the main event, which was extremely weird because most people thought the main event was actually the third match on this card. And we're doing it such because we really like this match, all of us. And this match is DIY, who we mentioned in the show previously, Johnny Gargano, and your friendly neighborhood Sicilian psychopath, Tommaso Ciampa.
A man after my own heart.
Yep. Versus the ingenious, devious rednecks, the Revival, Dash Wilder, and the intelligent Scott Dawson.
God bless those two.
Yeah.
I love
Johnny Wrestling Psycho Killer, Johnny Wrestling Psycho Killer.
I mean, come on, that was the greatest match I've seen all year, probably in the past 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on this match, Sal?
Again, greatest match I've seen in like past 2 or 3. Hell, I might even go 5. Give me 5, like Big E. Come on, give me 5.
3 ain't enough, man. He needs 5.
Give me 5.
Yeah, 5 count.
I mean, come on, it was that damn good. I mean, everything about it. The build to it was excellent. You had Gargano and Ciampa, who were constantly getting screwed over by the Revival, who came up so close and lost it. They teased the dissension. They didn't break up. They stuck with it. And it was like they came out strong. I honestly loved how quick the first fall was with Gargano flying all over the place and then getting caught with a shatter machine to put him right behind the 8 ball early on. That was great. It heightened the drama. It made everything going forward mean that much more, you know? And I mean, I'm pretty sure this is somewhat common knowledge, but in case it isn't, I'm a huge fan of American Alpha. I love Gable. I love Jordan. I think Gable is a great face in peril. And this is not a shot against Gable because he is great at it. But Johnny Gargano is like 10 times better at it. And again, not a shot at Gable. Again, I love the guy. He's great. But Johnny Gargano is probably like the best face in peril I've seen since I've started wrestling like back in 07. I mean, he was just great. I mean, like, he took, like, you know, he had both of his knees busted out from under him, and he sold that crap, you know? I mean, we're complaining about Shinsuke not selling, but this is Gargano who's lost both his knees, lost both his legs, and he's still fighting on. And I thought the finish to the match was really good, although it did make me kind of chuckle a bit because you see Dash and Dawson so close to each other, like, don't tap out, don't tap out.
Don't ever let go, Scott. Don't ever let go.
You know, yeah. I mean, it was great though. It was perfect, and to see them win, it was amazing. And I really hope they don't break them up, and I really hope they forget that they're on the Raw Cruiserweights because they need to go to SmackDown for their tag scene when they're done at NXT. Like, I love the Cruisers. I love them. I'm glad they're back, but those two are amazing, and they need to stay in the tag scene because, like, I honestly feel like we've had the women's revolution, like now the actual real one on SmackDown without all the branding and marketing. And I think the tag scene is getting really strong now, and I want it to continue to get strong because this match has really made me like fall in love with tag wrestling, like to a whole other degree, because it's been really good lately, like with teams with the Revival, with American Alpha, with DIY, with the Authors of Pain. It's just been great, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like a kid in a candy store over here, and it's like they were just great. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa as a hot tag was great. He's a great ass kicker. Again, a man after my own heart, Sicilian over here. So there you go. And I mean, he was great. And then Dash and Dawson, they are the best tag team on planet Earth. And I love them. And like in Sean's write-up of it, you know, he says, I can love them and still call them like bastards. And I'm like, this is exactly how I feel about them. You two are the best. You guys are great. But god dang you, stop cheating. You were supposed to let Johnny win, assholes. We agreed to this before the match started. Come on now. You know, it's like they're that good. And they get tag wrestling to every minute facet of it, you know? They just get it on such a fundamental level that makes me happy. You know, and it's so jarring because, you know, for so long in WWE, we'd have like the random two singles guys merge into a tag team, win the belts, and you see guys like the Revival who are that great tag team, and it just makes me so happy. So, you know, probably like the best tag match I've ever seen, other than that one on the All Japan thing with Hansen, Taue and Kawada, and I can't remember the other guy. And I know I'm going to kill myself, and Tierney and Vin are going to give me an earful for it. So,
so there's one person who's really happy about this match. Gabe, what were your thoughts on this match?
This was probably my match of the year. Best match I've seen all year. I figured like beforehand they were gonna win it here because they did win in Brooklyn. So you give them the failure, and then you see, also the pain win it. Then you have them go down quickly. So I was slightly confused because they can go either way. They can do 2 out of 3 falls multiple ways. So you don't always have to have like. You don't have that 3-0 comeback in the best of 7 series. It's so predictable. That doesn't end. You don't have to have like the predictable comeback in a way, but like you kind of knew what was happening. It worked out really well. they had so many near falls. You had multiple callbacks, using each other's finishers. Yeah, that them doing the heart attack in Canada.
That was great.
Just do a heart attack in Canada.
Yep.
You just have those guys come out and sing "Oh Canada." Hit them in Canada. Granted, there's probably people from the U.S., but.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it might have been predictable to a certain extent. The finish, the comeback finish, as you said there, Gabe.
But no, I just meant I meant beforehand, that they were gonna win because they were because you were gonna have them go. You weren't gonna have them lose twice if you want to build the tag team division as your next phase, and then you had the heel team winning earlier. So why would you have a heel and then have the heels win later? So they kind of can't face each other, especially. I mean, yeah. So that was more what I meant of that. That's why it was more predictable. But I knew that, and then there was 15 times I'm like, who the hell's gonna win?
Yeah, that's interesting. So,
there were multiple near falls, and I thought it was over, and I'm like, nope, never mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point there, Gabe. They had multiple near falls, almost won multiple times. So, Chris, what were your thoughts on this match while Gabe gets his microphone fixed?
I mean, everybody's basically said what there is to say. This was an amazing match, and everything about it just worked perfectly. It worked out a little bit differently than I thought it was going to. I initially expected that they were going to have it be DIY gets the first fall, and then Revival plays dirty to get the second fall, and just lay Gargano out and have him be stuck as just broken outside of the ring, and Ciampa would have to run the table for him while he recovered. But I mean, all in all, it worked out phenomenally well. These guys did an amazing job putting out an amazing match. I loved everything about it from start to finish, and I'm really glad that DIY finally got the win because they really needed it. I mean, at this point in the story, where they needed to get to a point where they needed to get to the point of finally getting over the hump and winning the titles, or else they were going to be basically only viable for the cruiserweights at that point. So the fact that they finally let them win the titles makes me really happy, and I'm looking forward to hopefully what is going to be a successful defense soon to come. So we'll see what happens.
I wonder when they're going to do the defense, because the Revival are teasing a bunch of stuff.
Well, I mean, everybody's been teasing a bunch of stuff. I mean, if you look on Twitter, what was it? Dillinger actually. Somebody tweeted at Dillinger, "You should be at Raw tonight." Then 2 nights after TakeOver, and he said, "Who says I won't be?" So everybody's been teasing stuff, and I can't say I'm surprised.
I wonder if it's just I'm just wondering how. I wonder how long they'll do it, just depending on other stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I feel it's next few for them. Try because you just put AOP over Big. So did you go kind of just do the rematch TV, or did you put that in on the pay-per-view? That's more what I meant. Not and then you can do, and then the problem is you don't really have another face to build up yet.
No, not right now, unfortunately.
Unless you're introduce TM61 or something, or just just build up the 2 beef guys for the.
Yeah. I honestly kind of figured that's where they were going with DIY AOP, since AOP won the Dusty. So
yeah, that's what I figured they're gonna do also.
Yeah, and I mean that should be a fun match.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought the match they had on TV was solid until they won the match. You got screwed over.
Yeah. Only thing I'm worried about with that is I am worried that they will have the AOP win, and that's what causes the breakup, because that is the last thing I want.
Well, I don't want that to be the cause of the breakup, but I also don't want that to be AOP's first loss.
Yeah, no.
I think that AOP needs to win the titles.
Yeah.
At worst, you just
yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I just don't want them to break up at all. So
you just feel and they can recover.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my guess would be, if we're playing the long game, is that they're going to have DIY lose the belts to AOP, and AOP have them for a bit while they rebuild TM61, who take them off AOP. I kind of figured that's why they had TM61 lose so much to AOP. That way, when they finally get to it, they get that big win, and they finally overcame the obstacle in front of them. But
yeah, we'll see where we go from here. On that match, you could probably Swift said he watched it like 5 times in like 3 days already, and I'm like,
Can't say I blame him. I mean, it's an amazing match. I mean, as much as I hate the Revival, it's the same thing like you saying, Sal. It's like we love to hate them because they're amazing at what they do, even if what they do just infuriates me to no end.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean,
why?
I mean, no, but seriously, yeah. I mean, I don't blame Swift again. Like, I don't blame Swift for watching that. That seems like a really good use of your time watching that match like 5 times in 3 days.
You just watched it a lot. That was the point.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
it's like Bexley put up his fan post of his rewards for wrestling in 2016. It's like he should have waited until after this, because that match would easily be up there as one of the best, if not the best, match in WWE of 2016, because that was incredible.
I honestly can't think of a match that even comes close to it. And I mean, we've had a lot of really good matches this year, so
Yeah,
I mean,
they had the bout in Brooklyn between DIY and Revival, Sami Zayn and Nakamura, another great match. Zayn Owens at I don't remember if it was Money in the Bank or wherever it was. They had the
was that Battleground? I think
Battleground. It might have been Battleground. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been so many amazing matches that have happened this year.
Yep.
So it was probably you forgot AJ Roman.
I mean, I can't forget the AJ Roman matches, but I'm not gonna put those out there, because I know that not everybody agrees with me about those matches, even though I think that they were 2 of the best that have happened all year.
And then there was Miz Ziggler at No Mercy, which was awesome. Yeah. So I mean, WWE has a lot of
and whichever, some people prefer different ones. I like the first.
Yeah.
See the styles and then.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of great matches in WWE, but I honestly do feel like DIY Revival, both of them, they stand like really high up. I mean, you also have the Alpha Revival matches, which are still really good. It's just, when you put them next to DIY Revival, it's like,
Johnny Wrestling's pretty good at that wrestling.
Oh yeah, no, Johnny Wrestling is pretty damn good at that whole wrestling thing, so.
Whoever would have guessed?
Who would have thought? And Tommaso Ciampa's no slouch either. I mean, let's give the man his dues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
killer.
Yeah, Ciampa's good.
Yeah. I mean, if I have one complaint for the match, it isn't even about the match. It's about Ciampa and Gargano's trunks, and that's the fact that the face they had on the back was the same. I personally like it where it's like mirrored, so it kind of looks like you have like if you're to overlap them, you get like the 2 faces. You know what I mean? Like when the Usos did their face paint thing, it always annoyed me how they always stood with the painted sides next to each other instead of on the far side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my own personal thing, and this is me being incredibly nitpicky. I will completely admit that.
Well, thank you for at least being willing to admit it.
Yeah,
you're self-aware about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm just saying this just so I have something to complain about.
Yes.
If you're gonna complain.
Yeah, but I mean, again, great match. What else can we say? I mean, I'd ask them to. Do you think they're gonna give us a third match though? I mean, I hope they do.
possibly.
They had the rematch clause.
Oh yeah, they kind of have to. Ooh,
Mhm.
I wonder what they do to up the stakes for this one.
Hmm. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see.
No holds barred. That'd be pretty cool.
Make it a Iron Man match.
Iron Man match.
Ooh, ooh.
Uh,
I like.
Team
I like
Iron Man
that.
match.
I like that.
I mean, this match was pretty long anyway. The tag
Yeah.
match was actually one of the longer matches on the card. It went. It was actually the longest match of the show at 22 minutes 15 seconds. So
I
they
still
already
have,
went.
It felt shorter. It felt shorter than what.
felt shorter than Ruda Dillinger. I'll say that.
Hmm.
Which I mean, it was great. I
I
mean,
get it.
I'm still mad that it didn't end the
And,
show.
yeah.
But you know,
I mean, that was just I understood why they did that first.
yeah. So again, you know, this was Takeover. It served its purpose, except for the third match on the card, which was the greatest match in probably the past 5 years.
Mhm.
So
This has been
At
a
a certain
great.
match,
Yep.
All sorts
So
of incredibles.
yeah, microphone issues. So anyway, let's get our final thoughts on this show. And since Gabe, you've been having issues with the microphone, you'll get to go first.
I thought this takeover, they're kind of rebuilding, so everything served its to go. But I'm not completely sure, especially the male, the women's slightly off, but like they seem to be building everybody, so that works. Tag division's their best division, and everything else was good. They need to figure out the men's single division, which since it hasn't been built up, they haven't built up people super well since probably Owens. Finn was fine built up, but not like Sammy was built up.
Hmm.
So you enjoyed this card overall?
I mean, it was more enjoyable than the next night.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other news, water is wet.
Okay, Chris, what are your final thoughts on this takeover?
Hashtag not as good as Brooklyn.
we might as well get that out of the way.
I'm bringing it back. But I mean, it was definitely a good show, and I am still very pleased with how NXT has been performing, and I'm looking forward to whatever they have coming next. I think the women have been doing a great job. I think the tag teams are some of the best that WWE has going on right now, and I am hopeful that the future will remain bright for these guys as things progress, because overall NXT has been doing a phenomenal job, and you know, it can only get better from here.
Okay, Sal, what are your final thoughts on this takeover?
I mean, you know, pretty good show. You know, nothing terrible. I mean, it was certainly more enjoyable than Survivor Series, and you know, again, damning with faint praise. But no, it was a good show. You know, served its purpose. That is my official subtitle for the show. Takeover. It served its purpose. Plus, you know, my favorite match in 5 years at least. So, you know, I'm probably going to actually end up rewatching that match again after we're done here because I really want to see it again. So there you go. But yeah, you know.
Takeover has been in a yeah, I agree with you there, Sal. Have any other points?
You know, I mean, I feel like the women's division, they're rebuilding it nicely. I think this was. I kind of wish they didn't need to bring in Mickey for it, but you know, I'm glad they found something to do. Men's division, I just hope they know where they're going because I really don't. And the tag division continues to be the crown jewel right now. So, you know.
TakeOver is NXT has been sort of in this weird mode where you have the people who want it to be developmental and the people who want it to be a touring brand have been clashing with each other with swords for the last year and a half now. My simple answer to this is this. Why not both? Come on, people. We have a good brand here. We have decent wrestling to great wrestling in the case of Gargano and Ciampa versus the Revival, and let's just enjoy what we have here instead of just trying to make it sort of this little meta game of, oh, this is better or that's better or this is better. 2016 has been a down year for professional wrestling because either people had great ideas but couldn't execute them right, or people got in charge and went completely insane.
Cough, cough, Dixie Carter, cough, cough.
Cough, cough, delirious, cough, cough.
Cough, cough, Vince McMahon, cough, 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 cough.
So as you can see,
Put it
the
sorry.
problem. Yep. So as you can see, the problem is not just limited to Vince McMahon land this year.
Yeah. I'm looking at it like this. NXT is still good. It could always be Raw.
Yeah.
Yep. So one last thing. Which of the two pay-per-views are you going to be looking forward to this December? Roadblock or TLC?
TLC.
I'll go first. TLC. They'll have the better no DQ women's match, I would think, which I hope ends up. I hope Nikki ends up AAing Carmella off the stage through multiple tables.
No, it has to be a burning hammer. Come on, Gabe.
Oh, God.
Remember, they've been using John Cena stuff, so
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on. You can always just go with the burning hammer. It looks a little bit like an AA at the start.
yeah, I don't think. No, they only let one guy take in Burning Hammer.
All right, I'm gonna go with TLC also. Yeah, I mean it's as much as I love the idea of Roman and KO fighting for the belt, having to hear Roman getting booed yet again for no fucking reason.
Well, I mean, there is a good reason. It's just not Roman's fault.
He doesn't hear.
My God, we have got to get you on a show with Tanya, Chris.
I mean, we already did that, but that was the last takeover. We gotta do whatever we do for Roadblock, and me and Tanya can then just yell collectively at everybody else for everything that happens at Roadblock. We're just the two of us, just the entire 90 minutes, just screaming incoherently.
I mean, one of the matches is probably going to make me scream coherently, but that's because it's Chris Jericho versus Seth Rollins.
Wait, they're actually doing that? Ew.
I think they are.
Ew.
Because apparently they like bad things. This is why we can't have nice things.
No, we
We've
can't.
had
Have
it. We've
nice
seen it
things.
5 times.
No, we can't have nice things. They're just all on SmackDown.
Well, also, I think Chris Jericho really, really wants to make
matches
sure
like
that he
that.
wraps up worst match of the year honors.
Yeah.
The match with the potted plant apparently hasn't secured it yet.
Oh, come on. Mitch was a better face than Seth. Let's give Mitch some credit.
Oh.
Maybe Seth Rollins is a better heel.
Well, of course, Seth is a better heel. I mean, they made him a heel for too long. It's kind of like here's the thing. Seth and Roman should have switched their alignments like 6 months ago. Like, they should be where each other was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, Seth should have been a face
They
6
should've
months
just
ago. Roman
had
should have been a
Seth
heel 6
Rollins.
months ago.
Yep.
Just returned, and Roman should just beat him down.
Yeah, but no, Yeah, but no, I am.
Nice things.
No. Well, I mean, we still have Miz. Come on now. We have nice things.
Oh, stop it, you.
Oh, come on. It's Miz. I had a great misgiving, except for having to work on it. But, the Miz giveth and the Miz taketh away.
Are we done yet?
Apparently a very bitter Sami Zayn fan.
Oh, well, excuse me. At least Roman has the U.S. title. Look at it like that.
Yeah, I know.
You want them to give him did you want him to have the if Sammy won the IC title, Roman would have just beat it and just put and they would have just
Put every
All-
belt on Roman, you say?
All the belts. All the belts.
Also do what TNA
Yeah.
did with Kurt Angle, like back in like what 07, where he was the tag champs, X Division champ, IWGP champ, and TNA champ all at once.
They did that with Lashley this year as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they
everyone
did.
TNA. Yep.
Yep. Like that was an interesting couple of happenings, you know.
You know what? I would love to have them do that with Roman and keep him as a face, just as a giant fuck you to the crowd, just to see what would happen. I would be all on board for that.
I wouldn't mind it for a week if immediately
week.
after they turned him heel.
Yeah, a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
There's
Vince can have his
anything-
little fuck you moment, and then we can actually get what we've always wanted, which is a heel Roman.
And then you would just have Braun beat him down to win the belts as a heel, and he would get cheered.
Oh yeah, speaking of Braun, how in the hell has this happened? I mean, when Braun first came up, we were all skeptical of him, but look at him now. He's like the most entertaining thing on Raw.
Well, I mean, that's because
Squash
he's on.
matches.
It's because he's on Raw. I mean,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
all the credit to Braun that we can give him, but it's not
Yeah.
exactly like he has a very high metric to work against. Here. Come on.
Yeah, true. We're giving him a
Hey,
low bar.
you know Raw? Hey, a guy said, I like big sweaty man
Yeah.
to face him, and then he beat him up.
Right? He basically has endured himself to the smarks for life because he destroyed James Ellsworth by putting him for a table.
Yeah. And then he made James Ellsworth's career in the first place.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's Braun's fault in the first place that people are annoyed at seeing James Ellsworth.
Yep.
Oh, that's karmatic irony for you.
Yep.
Braun. Just put
Braun!
Braun Goldberg main event of WrestleMania. Make it for the Universal title.
Oh, come on now. Only if Brock is like in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Just put him in the jobber spot. Or better yet, just pay him not to show up.
I'd be
No,
okay.
we'll just have Brock for Shade.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God.
Well,
No.
I look at it like this. It gives me a perfect bathroom match, and no one I like is getting screwed and being in with one of those two. So there you go.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Braun Goldberg.
Goldberg already had enough trouble lifting Brock Lesnar on his shoulders. How is he going to lift a man who is 50 pounds heavier?
Do you even think?
I think he's 100 pounds heavier.
100 pounds heavier than Brock.
Do you think he would?
He's 6'8". Like when I went to Battleground, Braun is noticeably bigger than everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
he's 6'8", 380 pounds, 85 pounds.
Do you even
He is
think?
the epitome of backwoods North Carolina good old boy. Like, he's from the backwoods of North Carolina. He looks like a lumberjack. He looks like he could rip a tree in half.
He is huge.
Huge or
No.
huge? I'm
Oh
gonna,
God! Don't start this again. For the
oh,
love
come on,
of
I'm
God.
channeling in my inner Youper up here. He's huge.
Well, that was NXT TakeOver, the Canadian Invasion edition. So, another edition of Speaks is in the books. Thank you so much again, folks, for tuning in to watching this show again. We'll see you next time. We're either going to be doing a live after special for TLC. We're going to be doing a Speaks for Roadblock. Maybe we'll get a few people together for Survivor Series. Who knows? And we'll see you then. For now, this is 14 Fitzpatrick, and I'm signing off here for today. Have a good day or night, ladies and gentlemen, whoever time you're watching this podcast. And we'll see you next time on Cageside Seats, the one-stop shop for all things in the world of professional wrestling. Have a good day. Bye.
Adios.
Peace.